Greetings everyone and welcome back to Anno 800 Survival. How good of you to join, take a cup of coffee, sit back, relax and enjoy Penagos as we continue with the expansion of the city here. My goal for this episode is finally to reach artisans, as we have laid out the foundation for all the products that my tier 2 population needs. And with that, we're slowly going to move away from, well, an agricultural society up to a more and more industrial society. Artisans would be my first real step for that, because the workers still kind of like act as a mixture between farmers and artisans. And for that, well, we have the soap production now over there working, dirty as it is. Someone is supervising the work here to keep everything in check, hopefully. And this one will make my people much cleaner in the process. We are also having, or had, the first war declaration in the last episode. And Miss Hunt, as we can see, she's now supporting, or she's going to continue now into shipbuilding, building more gunships, sending them then from time to time to us. We'll just see how that turns out, but don't expect any bigger attacks at the moment. I do not expect that, at least, so we can focus still on city building. And boy, we need to build. Let's go ahead and have the next block of houses right over there. There's also a massive riot forming up right now in this district once more, and for that reason we also will need to build a police station. Let's just see where we might have one of these a bit further outside. We could also have one of them right here in the center. So let's get rid of this and build us a nice police station just here. And it has its own little special entrance there as well then. Actually, you know what? Let's make this a bit different, like that. Right? And this should then make sure that those right-tiers are getting what they deserve. And we continue onwards with, yeah, another district that we can build over there. I would like to go ahead with more bigger districts again, so we can have this one here just fine. Let's just make sure that we keep track of the main road. And with that, we have another full block and then another density block beside that. And probably also another density block then here. Very good. And we can finish this right away. And since this is all within the reach of my marketplace, we can also go ahead and have some more districts than right here, or, well, blocks of houses like this one. And then also a courtyard one over there. Or actually two of them with some single row houses once more. And since we have a bit of plank still, let's use the remaining ones to build a few more farmers. How is my consumption looking in that regard? We still have a positive supply in most areas. Very good. And as we can see, we got lots of steel beams and bricks now in. One thing that we can do and should do now is we still, of course, have a steel surplus production. Even though we have two factories here now consuming the steel, we still have +1, or is it +2 actually? I think it's +1. Yes, +1 it is. And this means we still can build a weapon factory. The weapon factory is not even consuming the full, right? So it is actually a bit slower. But still, we will only be able to build one. But at least with that, we have the weapon production starting. We can afford this. Since the soap is now in, we have 1,300 on the balance, closing in on 6,000 people. And this will now produce weapons for us. I might be considering boosting this one as well with working conditions to speed up its production, because right now I think it is at 0.75. If I boost that, we actually produce 1 per minute. How much does it cost me? Nothing. No modifier unhappiness at all. So this will lead now to a flat 1 per minute that we produce with that. That is great. So with that we can start then the first turrets and whatnot that we need for the bigger attacks coming in. Now that is working, and with that we only need one more good, or one more service actually, for my people, as the soap is creeping in, and that is the school. So with the school, it's a very expensive building, right? 2,500 credits it costs me, and also quite a few bricks. But as we can see, the range is there, and I would like to have this one then somewhere here most likely. As we can see, we can get all the way down, even though it is not the full coverage then. So I think this one might be the safest bet that we have. So let's go ahead and move those 4 houses here a bit further over into this area. And then we can build us a nice school just here, with its own special entrance right here. Expensive as it is, almost cost me my last dime. But at least we now have education. I think it can't hurt for those poor children to have some trees here, because in summer it might get a bit too hot there as well. So let's add some trees to the area. We might have some temperate growth right here and here, and then perhaps some flower bushes in between. And this actually provides a bit of a shade there right now. And with that, my workers are so happy that they would like to advance, to evolve. We have all the demands fulfilled, and that means we can now advance to tier 3 artisans. And we have the building materials, so I would like to upgrade quite a lot of them right away. And with that, the age of fine craftsmanship is upon us. This will open up now another option that we have, and that is the New World Expedition. Since we have the flagship in the harbor area, I would like to start with that right away. The New World may have been discovered long ago, but there are rumors of an uninhabited and bounteous new archipelago. And we're probably the last one to arrive there. My opponents will most likely already be in the region. The flagship gives me the navigation bonus. Canal to the Land of Lions has also opened up, so Beza awaits, but of course that's for way later. Let's put some medicine in. This gives me lots of morale, rations and medicine that we need for, well, any kind of occasion that happens. I would also like to go ahead and stuff me full with timber, please, that we can have. For whatever reasons, the bread gives me faith, so let's, oh, not all of it, of course, give me 10 tons of bread for the faith, and yeah, that's actually all that we really need in that occasion. Let's start the expedition. The Sea Harpy is on its way now, leaving the old world behind, starting a new adventure, and lucky that we are, we have the exit to the new world right over there. A bit of an advantage, I grant you that. And it's going to be a long and dangerous journey, and it's going to take a while before the flagship returns home, if it ever happens. Goodbye, Sea Harpy, I hope you're doing well. Meanwhile, back in Panagos, we can continue with the upgrading. Unlocking more buildings along the way, and also another, well, tax breakthrough that we have, because artisans like to pay quite a bit for living there. We might also want to add a few trees now here along the way, since I have a few ornaments. It's expensive though. This row of trees alone costs me 1000 credits, but for the heck of it, let's do this. Beautifying that settlement a bit. Adding a few more details along the way. Now we are actually limited right now by the timber, right? So I need to wait there a bit on timber to come in to build a few more artisan buildings. And with that, tier 3 has been unlocked, and also the docklands. Hello, Captain Tobias. We are going to stay in business for a very long time. May it be prosperous. Now, I'm going to wait though before we actually build the docklands. What we have now here is also a whole new row of advanced industry buildings. That's right, we have new industry buildings, tier 2 industrial buildings, large bakeries, large windmills, large textile factories. They require electricity, most of them, and of course a lot of building materials, so they are for later than down the road. This has just been locked now though. Now, let's continue. A few more planks are coming in. There you go. As we grow, and we have the artisan workforce now coming in. Already we face new challenges. That is, we do need to increase my soap production. That means I do need 2 more pig farms. And I will also need 2 more rendering works and another soap factory to double that output. And since we want to focus a bit on soap as my first export good, we're also going to build another row, right? So that means 2 more pig farms. We can afford this. Let's build them over here. So this is going to be our first profitable good, right? Up to this point, we've been selling a few building materials and a few raw materials to make a bit of coin, but that was of course laughable in comparison to what the soap will bring us. But of course, as we can see, the soap requires 3 steps, so it's a very processed good. And with that also quite valuable. We are really limited by planks at this point, so I would like to go ahead and build my, or continue increasing my lumber production. For that, yeah, we have the dense forest over here by the mountainside in Panagos, and this makes it possible for me to build me another warehouse here. And with that, yeah, let's go ahead with 3 more sawmills. They're very cheap in comparison, and it is fine to have them somewhere. And even if we have a bit of a surplus, that doesn't hurt us that much, really. This should, however, be really enough now with timber production. The artisans would like to talk with us. In the pastry section, a genius. In a new city, a fruitcake. Can you help me find my cousin? He's a huge, bold fellow who never parts from his beer. He's unmissable. We don't even have beer. But okay. Let's accept the puzzle quest. The pastry chef. He is somewhere out there at the pub. Of course, drinking. Let's just find him.
Have you heard? We're in war.
And I think I've spotted him right over there. Let's just get over there. He looks like a big, bold fella, and we can actually select him. Of course, that's the person we're missing. And with that, we finish that quest and get a pastry chef. Affects the bakeries and large bakeries. Maintenance cost reduction by 50%. Or we sell it for 4,600. I think we're going with the latter. But of course, I have no ship at the moment that I could use for that. While we are in the harbor area, it's also time to finally start the upgrading of my docks. So the small trading post becomes a medium one. We get 75 tons of more storage, global storage for the island. And also another loading ramp. It does cost me quite a bit though. Of course, this building is more beautiful and more decorative, so it makes sense to have it now here. Very good. I think we also have everything in stock now to finish the next soap production. Let's build 2 more rendering works and another soap factory. And we definitely should work on that fire station too. Meanwhile, since the planks are coming in, let's continue with the upgrades. Unlocking a new city status, and that of a city. Panagos has become a city. Oh, very good. This unlocks the zoo and the museum. Both of them we're not going to build now, of course. And another night is creeping in, so we can marvel these artisan buildings right away in nighttime. Well, all of this happens and a new day is dawning. Let's just marvel the sunshine there real quick. Oh, beautiful. We have a busy day ahead of us once more, as I would like to start now with my sail production. For that, we do need the sheep farms. Right over there we have them, as we know. Now, my work cloth production is at 3, so that is fine, right? We can definitely afford a few more sheep farms without the framework knitters. So let's have another warehouse here. And then we have the sail maker right over here with, let's build, yeah, I think 2 of them should be fine. Have them both in this area. And behind them we have then 2 sheep farms providing the wool. I don't see any fire station other than this one here. That's certainly not enough. Let's build another one just here by the warehouse. So it becomes that the sailing shipyard is available and we can build it. Let's have it here at the end of my smaller harbor area for now. A bit further away perhaps. Actually, we might make this a bit more sophisticated because we have, of course, some depots there as well. And to me, at least, it might make sense to have the shipyard also within depots here where the building materials for the ships are being stored. However, a shipyard costs 10,000 credits. We are far away from that, so I need to wait a bit. Best would be, of course, to sell something. Unfortunately, we don't have a ship at the moment. Meanwhile, let's have a look at my opponents. Miss Hunt is ramping up, so she's doubling the size of her fleet. settling completely now on the second island, also developing it. And she has also achieved artisans. Perhaps also a bigger fire that she's fighting there right now. The same goes for Princess Jing, who has reached artisan level and actually has time to build a museum. Alright. And the Admiral on his smaller island, he's now developing this one. And on his bigger one, he's also achieved artisans. And yeah, starting to ramp up his defenses. Having enough building materials once more, we can continue with the artisan upgrades. 2 more blocks are being finished with that. And we have unlocked a few more buildings down the road. Those artisans have now way more needs. Oh, and it also starts the Cape Trelawney quest line with Archibald Blake finding the Queen. However, we are not doing that at the moment, of course. We have the sausage, the soap. We have now sewing machines, canned food, and fur coats as the new goods. Now, the sewing machines are going to play a vital role for us soon. For now, though, let's wait a bit more. We have now a nice balance of 1,200. And I think also my expedition requires our attention there. Let's have a quick look at that. The Coral Island. The storm came from nowhere, wrecking your ship on coral-strewn shores. For a time, your crew feel like children again, dancing along the sand and bathing in the sun, as they await a verdict on the damaged hull. When it comes, the news is not good. Extensive repair is needed, and with supplies so short, there is considerable disagreement. Why concentrate on repairs, given how long that may take, when both food and water are so urgently needed? Risk mutiny and demand the repairs. This has a high chance because we have planks on board that we can use. It's good that the craftsmen are so adept, because the impatience of the entire crew is palpable. Fortunately, by giving everyone something to do, those in charge of the repairs exude a quiet authority. Everyone learns to take pleasure in the details, and before long the ship is at least fit for the expedition as it was before. And we continue onwards. Very good. And we continue also in my city itself, because something new is taking place here. We have the money, we can build the shipyard. That's a great new milestone indeed, because it makes us a bit more independable now, or, well, independent from traders, and we can build our own ships. And I would like to start with a schooner, even though we already could build a gunboat too, since the weapons are in and the sails are in. But a schooner is a first important step. Oh, I will probably need me a depot here too. Since I can't build that depot at the moment, let's make that... Wait a second. Let's move this one over and have the road connection like this. Once I build the depot, it kind of like also acts as a road, but I can't build that at the moment. It's all costing me, and I don't really need the storage. We have a 200 tons maximum capacity right now in the harbor area. That schooner is going to take a bit of time here now, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And this will then make things a bit easier for us. Since we have a bit of time and lots of planks, I would like to continue with my city developments. We have a few more upgrades. I have 1,300 farmers ready to upgrade, and we should use that number because, of course, we're also depleting worker workforce by upgrading to artisans. So let's go ahead. I think over here, it's safe to upgrade a few more. There is some buildings here that don't have the full market demand fulfilled. That's because the market is a bit too far away and we are only using dirt roads at the moment. I could use some of my bricks to upgrade roads to streets, but that is for later. So we are rather taking in those smaller patches of farmers, which is fine to me because it adds more diversity. Let's also have some workers now here, close to our chapel. As we can see, the schooner is coming along, as we can already see the shape of the ship appearing. And after a short period of time, we have a new ship, Neptuno, a new schooner coming out of docks in all its glory. The smallest ship, but still it's going to be useful for us. Let's get it to my docks right away, because we want to fill it up with my first export good, which is the soap. For that, let's also quickly check out my soap production. We have a surplus of 4 per minute right now, which is quite a lot. And let's go ahead and, yeah, sell some 30 tons of soap to, of course, it is Eli. And he is really not that far away. Over there we can see the prison island where Eli is situated. The only problem I can see here right now is the pirates. This is going to make things not that easy. And actually it will make it almost impossible for the moment as long as there is a frigate, because a frigate will certainly one-shot my schooner. We can still risk it though. And we still need to wait for the right moment before I can do that. We have a lot of pirate ships now in the region, as we can see. Meanwhile, the expedition requires our attention. A delicious looking banquet with no one around to eat it. Rising smoke encourages the crew to put to shore, but upon their arrival, they find the hamlet of conical stone huts to be deserted. Nevertheless, after months on jerky and biscuits, the sight of the fresh fish, cassava and bananas wrapped in banana leaves that have been left out has the crew salivating. It's too good to be true, sage old sailor warns. Heed the old sailor's warning. We can use some bread for that. And they should have had more faith in the old sailor. Taking his word with a pinch of salt, your men swarmed the miraculous banquet, turning the food over in their hands, as if to divine if it is real or not. Before anyone can take a bite, however, the villagers reappear looking rather cheesed off. Okay, food fight or try to apologize. Let's try to apologize this. And your people are very diplomatic. Immediately stepping away from the feast, they raise their hands above their heads and offer a few reassuring words that no harm was meant. The villagers lower their weapon, though they seem disgruntled at your invasion of their home and ritual. Their chief offers you a generous quantity of bananas to wish you peacefully on your way. And we get 5 plantains with us. However, my flagship does not have more stuff or more storage available, so unfortunately we will need to discard it. And with that, we continue onwards on our expedition. Seeing that for now, it's really impossible to find a spot there. So what we can do is we can risk that ship to sell the soap. And that was 11,000. At least that was something. And now my schooner goes down. But that's 11,000 more on my account, and I'll gladly take that. It could be a bit of a problem in the future that the pirate is so close to us. I did not anticipate such a force right away. So we can still try to get that schooner to safety. Unfortunately, this will be too late, as all the pirates flock to it right away. Fortunately, we have not named it after one of my Patreon supporters. That would have been a bad sight right now. Ship is down. Doesn't matter, it was a cheap schooner. And we tested the grounds. However, of course, it will make things difficult. Let's build another one. Actually, you know what? Let's build a clipper. We can do this. And we can also build a frigate. Let's start with the clipper. And then the frigate. I will need a few more sails, I think, down the road as well. So let's build us a 3rd sail maker with another sheep farm close to it. Now my balance is pretty high right now. My steel beams are low. So what does that mean? Of course, we do need to pump out more iron. For that, I would like to use now my 2nd iron mine that we have up there.
Look sharp, the governor's here.
And we can also build 2 more charcoal burners. Essentially doubling the output now of coal and iron. With that, we can build 2 more furnaces. Right over here. And another steel beams factory. We might need to consider upgrading that warehouse, or I'm just going to build me another one. I think that's the safer way. Having still a lot of planks, let's go ahead and upgrade a few more farmers. How's my consumption rates looking? Soap is fine, bread is fine, sausage is fine. We're still looking rather fine with my goods. So I can continue with the upgrading until we reach a certain limit. What I would like to consider on top of that is moving now my lumber production that we have in this area. As the population pressure is quite high, more people would like to move to Panagos at this point. So it is safe to move this whole area away from Panagos close, and we just move it a bit further over there. We already have a timber production, so for me it makes sense to have this a bit closer. Let's just see how far we can, or how close we can get before we actually reduce the efficiency, and this one here looks rather good. With that move, we just need to make one final connection, and this plank production is now working in the mountains of Panagos, leaving only the fire station behind, and with that a lot of space to expand. Get rid of that road here. There is the main harbor road, there is the main city road. So what I can do as well to structure my district here is having that road then going like this. Right, so we make that connection here again. And in here we can actually go crazy now. Let's have the marketplace and the pub close by again. And here we can now go ahead and build more houses. While building, the expedition requires our attention once more. However, they will have to wait just a second there, as I would like to just finish this one here. Some buildings here with special entrances might also make sense to me. Have this one here. Perhaps I can squeeze in another courtyard. Very good. And then another block of houses here. Another dense block probably here. For this, I will get rid of that road to make it a full block. Very good. And another block with just entrances on either side here. Let's have a look at my expedition. Cities of Gold. The faded ink, the gold leaf. Could this map lead to El Duda? It fluttered into the hands of your sailors, who believe it to be the most bona fide clue in centuries as to the location of the City of Gold. They're already dreaming of the hulking neck chains they'll find, and how well they'll set off their earnings. Why, even the captain has suggested hiring a guide. Yet the greedy have come this way before, and it never seems to end well. Alright, let's hire a guide. She wants some payment. Schnapps should do well. She doesn't want planks, that's for sure. Medium high chance with bread. Very high chance with schnapps and bread. Offer the bribe. And your bribe attempt failed. What? Looks like you're on your own. The guide scoffs at your evaluation of his services. Everyone from here to Porto Tristessa will hear what a greedy bunch of conquistador pigs you are. Thank you very much. Let's read the map myself. And your man succumbed to their greed. The map must have been a cruel hoax. The worst thing was that it raised their hopes. Some of its landmarks, a high waterfall, a boulder improbably perched, are found to really exist. Beyond that, there's nothing. Yet gold fever has already set in. Weeks, months go by before some of your people get a grip of themselves again. We lose some time and some morale. Ultimately, we continue. And another district is coming. This is our main road. Let's just make sure of that. With a bit of a plaza area then in front of the marketplace. By now, I don't need to worry about money for streets anymore that much. So we can safely finish those here like that to really fill them in, right? So have also some proper bigger roads then along the way. Perfect. I think also we should be able to commission now the next frigate once the planks are in. So that's the only limitation right now. I'm very happy about that. And the sun is already setting again as another day is coming to an end. Dusk is setting in. By the way, how's the pirate looking? Still circling around Eli? Yep, circling around like crazy. This will be hard. There will be no trade route for the moment. The only thing we might attempt is, well, to flatter Anne. She's not open to flattery though. There we have the planks, and let's commission a frigate. 2 ships are now in construction. There it is. A clipper comes to light. We might actually change to something more majestic looking. That is okay. And with this clipper, we have now a very fast, agile, and high storage ship. The best that we can do for now. Let's move this into a bit of the safety of my harbor area. It's looking rather dangerous over there, and I think there's also some fighting. Yes. Miss Hunt is not on good terms with the pirate yet either, and she also has trouble getting her ships around. That pirate is a real problem there, almost in the center of the map at the moment. It's going to be interesting how this turns out, long-term wise. And she loses a ship. Unfortunately, that cargo is just too good to be true. Anne Harlow and Margaret Hunt agreed to ceasefire, so that's the fighting for that, as they are now on peace terms, and she will no longer be chased by the pirate. This, of course, is bad for us. Miss Hunt, obviously, is also sending out schooners to the New World right now, so we are definitely not alone over there anymore. Unfortunately, we are already at war with her, so we need to be very careful of what awaits us there. Now, I would like to continue meanwhile in Panagos because we have another building material available to us, windows. And for that, let's open it up. Windows require sand with glass makers, logs, and the window maker. For the sand mines, we can have this area available to us still to build us a few. Unfortunately, sand is, well, taking a lot of space as we can see. So let's just try to squeeze in a few of these sand mines here. This is already not possible anymore. That's unfortunate with the rocks that we have there. So this will not be working. But I can squeeze them in like this. This one here probably will not work. No, let's get rid of that again. That's at least 4, which is already fine. So this will already lead to 8 window makers and 8 tons of windows per minute. I'm happy with the outcome of this for now. Let's go ahead and have in my industry zone a new district a bit further over here perhaps, where we can then start with the glass makers. Since we have 4 mines or 4 sand mines, we can have up to 4 glass makers for the moment. Let's just have them in this area as well. And they will then supply up to 8 window makers. And I think we don't even need to wait. Let's build the warehouse. Let's build the first sand mine. You know what? Let's make it 2 sand mines right away. With that, also 2 glass makers. And this would lead to 4 window makers. However, this is really expensive as one of them cost me 6,500. So let's build 2 of them for the moment. This will already drop my balance there quite a bit again. But at least we have now the window production starting up that we are going to need for a lot of new products then. So far so good. Panagos is growing. We have become a city. We will now anytime discover the new world, settling in on Manola hopefully if still available. We have started building ships, also the clipper over there, and we're, well, hopefully continuing on a prosperous journey, even though the challenges are all too obvious to us. Stay tuned.